Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Would everyone please rise?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. Maybe seated. Remind board members to turn the microphones on, please. Mr. Superintendent.
Keep them fairly close if you can. Last month's broadcast was not very clear. The farther they are away from you, the more difficult it is to pick up.
Mrs. Madison, would you do roll call, please?
Wade Beatty,
Here.
Cynthia Neal. Here. Gerald Leonard,
Here.
Graham Richardson,
Here.
Melissa Toth. Here. Monica Van Hoy. Here. Tom Shetzel.
Here.
All 7 members are present. I'm going to call this 10:28 hearing to order. Mr. Beatty?
Mrs. Madison.
We have a 10:28 public hearing for anyone who would like to address the bond issuance of up to $3 million in general obligation bonds for 2026.
Thank you.
Does anyone wish to address the board? Anybody online? Good. All this hearing closed. Moving on to the regular board, I will call the meeting to order. Board members, you have the agenda in front of you.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Neal, second Mr. Shetzel to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Minutes from our January 20th. Regular meeting.
Mr. President, I'll make the motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Motion by Mrs. Neal, second Mr. Shetzel to approve the minutes from our January 20th meeting. Any questions or comments or update? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Mr. Beatty.
Did not have any registered speakers. So on to superintendent's reports. They're not going to be nearly as exciting this month as they were last month. However, next month, they should be very good. So
Okay.
we have some things in the works for the next board meeting. What I want to provide you with is a report on the construction project. As you can see, we are officially in motion inside the building. Rooms that are being impacted by the first phase are being packed and emptied and prepped. Dirt work is underway. The staging area trailers, I think, should be here tomorrow. construction trailers. Topsoil for the elementary addition, has been moved and compacted. Knock on wood, we have no major concerns. I've been very appreciative that they have, really hit the ground running I think last week they worked 7 days in the week, so, very appreciative. That concludes my report.
Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. Approval of bill, financial report, an $80,000 transfer. Look,
Correct.
and, a donation. Correct?
Correct.
$750.
Yes, $750 donation, from Wilkinson Church of Christ to KHS.
Okay, give us the bad news, Mrs. Madison.
Okay, tonight for claim approval is, date range 1/21/26 through 2/17/26. Number 436,129 through 436,307. And your total is $1,180,326.93. In your financial report packet, you have bank balances. You will see that there is a new account for the 2026, the 2025 GEO bond for the project. And so that can earn interest separately. And then you have your fund reports, cash flows for education operations. Just a reminder, it's very early in the year for me to try to predict the year-end cash balance. So you have a transfer resolution of 80,000 from education to ops. You'll also see a bank transfer, and this is where I transferred the principal of the bond from our regular account to the new account, and then the donation for Wilkinson Church of Christ for $750.
No field trips or anything?
You need a motion for that, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Mr. President, I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes approval of bills, approval of financial reports and transfers as presented.
Motion made by Mr. Leonard, second Mrs. Van Hoy to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any questions or comments?
Can you get the donations from various communities? Are they options for specific things? If they are, can that be added to this information?
I believe that this one was a general one, but yes, we can absolutely have that.
Yeah, usually it's some have been in for playground equipment.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I think it is very
and usually listed what it's for,
specific amount or something.
a robotics club or.
And then the past, the house does, hasn't it?
Maybe
Hmm.
it's sometimes it's,
But yeah,
sometimes it's just a dollar amount,
Yeah.
so, okay.
Any others? Again, motion made by Mr. Leonard, second Mrs. Van Hoy to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried, 7-0. New business. Weather waiver.
Just a discussion item for tonight. We know Indiana schools are required to provide 180 days of instructional time. Through our school board approved 1003 waiver, our district meets this requirement through instructional minutes, not through instructional days, which allows us 178 instructional day calendar. After having a week, almost a full week of weather days this year, because a state of emergency was declared, the Department of Education provided a waiver process for people to try to waive some of those instructional days if needed. we went ahead and applied for that. We don't have to take it, but I figured we'd go ahead and apply for it. And then could decide. They granted us 2 days. We had asked for 3. So with being granted those 2 days with a 1003 waiver, to get to our required instructional days, we will have 1 additional day to make up at the end of the school year. And that will be the Tuesday following Memorial Day, which would have been the teacher's last day. We're a little different than a lot of school corporations around us because we did not this year utilize the synchronous learning options. The connectivity issues that still hit us are very difficult, and attendance issues are very difficult. You have to have at least 50% of attendance for more than 4 hours for that day to count. So we chose not to do that this year. Of course, this would be the year that we would have a time for it. Any questions about that?
That's so far.
No, winter's coming.
That's so far. Hope so.
So far.
Largest snow in the state of Indiana happened on February 25th, 1920.
No, thank you.
16 inches,
What year?
1910.
Well, they walked.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what snow days were. Yeah. Okay. Board policy, first reading, 1106, board vacancies.
This policy comes to us through ISBA, and this change, the only change in this has to deal with the new statute that allows for school board members to declare their political affiliation. And that, if they choose to do that, or if you choose to do that, then that changes the replacement process if your seat becomes vacant for any reason. The second policy, 1503, was another ISBA suggested policy. And I can't imagine what spurred this, but I'm glad it wasn't here. Social media use by board members. This lays out what requirements school board members must have to maintain privacy settings, open door laws, and their disclaimer that their post reflects their own opinions and not the board. Those are the 2 policies for this.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve on first reading policy number 1106, which relates to board vacancies. Policy number 1503, social media used by board members. Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Leonard, second Mr. Richardson to approve on first reading policy number 1106 and policy number 1503. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. 7-0. Thank you. Personnel report.
New employee Sarah Longworth, activity bus driver for the deaf route. Randy Stroud, KIS library media assistant, and Zachary Fleet, bus driver. Change in title, Haley Hogue, long-term sub at KPS. Resignations and retirements, Ashley Axtown, third grade teacher. Anita Talbot, special ed aide, KPS. Dolores Mershon, activity bus driver, deaf route. And Shelley Fortune, retirement at the end of the school year. ECA, Chris Ulrey, varsity baseball head coach. Tyler Burton, TJ Schooley, Randy Gorman, varsity baseball assistant coaches. Mike Miller and Jack Teague, junior high baseball coach. Jason Kopp, softball head coach. Eric Hirschberger, Taylor Burton, and Eric Hirschberger and Taylor Burton, softball assistant coaches. Brad Brad Gross, junior high softball coach, Joe Patton, golf coach, Jordan Chu, track boys head coach, Alicia Chu, track girls head coach, Elizabeth Moore, track assistant coach, Zach Arnold, track assistant coach. Lori Thomas and Brian Pulaski, junior high track coach and junior high assistant track coach. Heather Barrier, tennis head coach, and Lori Hildebrand, tennis assistant coach. That completes personal report for the evening.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion that we accept the testimony for presented.
Mr. President, I will second.
Motion by Mrs. Van Hoy, second by Mrs. Neal to approve the personnel report as presented. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries 7-0. Food service agreement.
This comes back to you annually. This is part of our purchasing cooperative and bulk purchasing contract for food, milk, bread, supplies. When that came to you originally, that is a quote that is good for multiple years. However, it requires board approval each year. The recommendation is that we approve the contract renewals, which leverage the collective purchasing for an additional year. You have those recommendations from Mrs. McMahon in your board packet.
I will move to approve.
Second. Motion by Mrs. Toth, second Mr. Shetzel to approve the food service agreements as presented. Any questions, comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Guidance contract, Phil.
Next up, you have the guidance contract for our high school guidance counselor, Mindy Weaver. This updated agreement clarifies number of contracted work days and includes a compensation adjustment of just over 3% in year 1 and 3% in year 2. Those are contingent upon the employee receiving an effective or highly effective evaluation rate.
What's the board's pleasure?
Let's approve the full council employment agreement.
Motion by Mr. Sheffield, second by Mr. Richardson to approve the guidance count for the contract. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried 7-0. Field turf.
Next up is our field turf replacement. This is something that we have been needing to plan on for quite a few years now. Our turf, the initial turf installation, did a great job for us and lasted longer than anybody had projected. But it's definitely time to get that replaced. We received our information on pricing through the Cooperative Purchasing Alliance, which is a collaboration of all of the education service centers, streamlines purchases for member districts and make sure that everybody is getting the most competitive and responsive bid. And this expenditure will be paid out of the 2022 bond. So it's been sitting there. We certainly did not want to move on field replacement prior to starting our building project. So the base bid turf replacement is $650,500. And the one alternate that was selected is alternate 5 Game On, which adds $45,000 to that. The reason that was included typically at the installation of field turf, there's a lot of cutting and sewing. Anytime you see a color difference, that is cut out and sewed in. Those are the areas that fail over the years. Game On is a fairly new process that allows for the turf to be printed in what colors you need. So if you're printing a 10-yard strip, you'll have the white yardage lines on there. They don't have to be cut out and placed in. That would be the two that we would be recommending. This project would take place as soon as track season's over in late May, and hopes to have it completed by the middle of June. Should take just a couple weeks for them to do. It's also much faster with Game On. And in your packet, you have a rendition of what the field would look like, very similar to what it is now. Different logo in the middle, and the labels for Don Willard Field placed on the turf itself.
I have a question or two.
Mhm.
This Mott's, are they both the installers and is it their proprietary? product
No,
that's
they
being
are.
created? They're just the installation.
Yes, they are the installation group. They're out of Ohio, and they have done some work for us before. They are certainly the best known group of doing this. They do all the professional sports teams in Ohio. They do Ohio State. They have a pretty good footprint over there. But yes, they are not the manufacturer of the turf. The turf itself is a common. I'll have to get for you what the name of it is, but it's a fairly common manufacturer. Of the 3 or 4 installers that would install in this area, all of them use that same turf.
Is it what is out there now?
No, it is new technology. It is has more padding built into it,
Okay,
and it's a different type of fiber. It's supposed to be safer for athletes.
gotcha.
When was that field installed?
2010?
2010, I think.
Wow.
And that was a 12-year field.
I have a
didn't
question,
get-
Mr. Manning.
Mm-hmm.
Down there does not include prevailing wages. Does this not take in labor?
It does take in labor, but if there was to happen to be a prevailing wage dispute on this, then I would have to come back to the board for their consideration of the contract before the installation came.
Okay.
So if anything's changing, it'll come back to the board for a new vote before any installation happens.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. And I assume the taxes are sales taxes?
What's that?
I assume that the does not include taxes, that's sales tax, Indiana sales tax?
Yep.
We don't pay them yet.
It is,
We don't pay sales tax.
I think there's a portion that we have to pay for this. Steph, do you know?
We shouldn't have to pay any sales tax.
Okay.
Hopefully not.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Is there any? When we have advertising on the fences, and is it something that you could get dollars for that?
Yes, and you're seeing that a lot of different places. I had some conversations with a couple of local entities the 2 years ago when we planned this initially and looked at it. The problem with it was nobody was really willing to bite for the entire life of the turf. So, you know, a 15-year deal, they weren't able to, but yes, you absolutely could do that. And you maintain, even with Game On, you maintain the ability to do that in the future if you want, but that portion would of course be cut out and inserted in.
What is the estimated life of this turf?
15 years.
Which I think when the first one was put down was 10.
10 to 12 from what I've known.
So we got 15 out of it. So if this one's guaranteed for 15 years, we should get 20.
I like to
I
think.
won't be around to worry about it.
Me neither.
You need a motion?
Please.
Move to approve. What is this thing? Field replacement with bots as quoted,
Minus the sales tax.
minus the shift.
Mr. President, I will second the motion.
I didn't see the sales tax on the bid at all.
Yeah.
There's no sales tax on that bid.
No, my question was,
Would it be sales tax? on
will
top?
there be sales tax on it?
Oh, okay. I
Okay.
apologize.
Down there, that does not include tax.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
But there won't be.
Motion by Mr. Shetzel. Second by Mrs. Neal to approve the replacement of the field turf on the high school football field. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you.
Will they recycle the old?
They do.
Nice.
We have a new proposed calendar for 26-27.
Mr. President, I'll make the motion to accept the 26-27 calendar.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Neal, second Mrs. Toth to approve school calendar starting on August 3rd through May 21st of 27. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Appropriations and issuance of. Oh, we had to pay. Additional.
Additional appropriation and the resolution for the issuance of the bond.
Oh, okay. What you'll be recommending is the motion, the bond we already approved, so we're just approving the appropriations requirement of those bonds.
3 million of the 10.
These will be the 26 geo bonds. So what's labeled? That
Yes, they'll be 2026, so the first payment would be 2027.
What's the board pleasure?
Is the motion way to approve the appropriation of the bonds
Of the expenditures.
of the expenditures
Yes.
in both resolutions?
It would be for the issuance of the bonds as well as additional appropriations.
Oh, excuse me. My apologies. The issuance of the bonds. Let's take them one at a time. Mr. Schetzel, will you motion you made for the issuance of the bonds?
Yes, so moved. Appropriation of the issuance of the bonds.
Second. Motion by Mr. Schetzel, second Mr. Richardson to approve the issuance of the $2 million bond. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
The blank at the bottom, like I was on page,
43.
there's a blank there, it's not going in, or is that not that part of the code? Something different, like page 9.
Where you at?
Page 9 of the first,
I'm looking at the very first page.
okay, I'm looking at page 9 where it says in the total, is it on the first page as well? Not in multiple ones.
Not to exceed $2 million.
Yeah.
This is the one to the third whereas down.
That gives us the ability to issue less than 3 million if we decide to.
Then those blanks can't be filled in until the bond sale because we don't know what type of premium we might get.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. for clearing that up.
Again, the motion made by Mr. Schetzel, second by Mr. Richardson's to approve the issuing the bonds. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries 7-0. Now we can move on to the additional appropriations to use those bonds.
I will also move to approve the additional appropriation to use those bonds. Is that right?
Correct.
Mr. President, I will second.
Motion by Mr. Schetzel, second Mrs. Neal to approve the appropriation of the previous approved bonds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries 7-0. Any other business?
No, sir.
Any visitors wish to speak? Mr. Richardson.
Just the usual appreciation for everybody, teaching staff and related classroom activities and administrative duties for keeping the whole circus moving along, going towards the end of the year. And as always, my continued appreciation to Stephanie for all the budgetary work that she does and such. And somehow making it through 19 pages of the most obtuse language I have ever read. That 12 line run-on sentences masquerading as paragraphs. Wow. Thank you. Monica?
So Wade and I went to the ISBA meeting today and it was at the State House. And anyways, I thought I would tell some quick little things that kind of stood out today that they were talking about a lot. So the legislative session is still happening. Got about a week left. They'll finish on February 27th. And when they started this session, they started with 753 bills. ISBA has been tracking 90 of those bills, and as of today, it's now down to 34 that they're still tracking. And I do want to say something for Terry and Lisa because and their staff, they always do a great job of explaining and answering questions and handling themselves very professionally. So some of the ones that they really hit on today, there's a immigration matters and it's basically it's kind of making sure the schools that I'll give an example. So if a school is asked for a parent's name and the school has the parent's name and the system, then the school has to give that out or the school could be held accountable. So that was one that was discussed a lot and that's already went through everything. I'm sorry, it hasn't went through everything, but if it does finish going through, it will go into effect as soon as it does pass. There's one that's talking about the school board candidates. And when you register the next time, if you're going to run, always this last session, it put your name in alphabetical order. But now they've decided to change it that if you sign yourself up with an affiliated party, those would be put first. And then if you sign yourself up as an independent, that would come in second. And then if you're a nonpartisan candidate, that would be third on the ballot. I know that there's some conflicts there because in my opinion, and I know other board members' opinions, not everybody, but if you chose to sign yourself up as a nonpartisan candidate, it would give the board a opportunity to fill your spot if you were to choose to leave. And if you chose to run with an affiliated party, then the caucus gets to come in and fill your spot.
Right.
So the board gets a little bit more leeway there. Then another one was talking about the wireless devices, and this would prohibit the use of wireless communication devices throughout the school day, including passing periods and lunchtime. It's kind of a bell-to-bell ban is what they were calling it. This would require that we would adopt a no device policy or a storage policy to hold these devices in a safe space, I guess. Now the teachers would be given flexibility of their phones unless we change that in the policy, I guess. And the other one that stood out to me, I would say, was it's a various education matters, which means there's a lot of things thrown in there, but they really talked about social media. And this bill was talking about dealing with the conflicts of social media, that the school has to deal with that a lot. And as of right now, it's written that any 16-year-old and below would need parent consent in order to have social media accounts. And one of the statistics they said was the female suicide rate is up about 60% and the male suicide rate is up about 35%. So they're trying to protect our students from social media as much as possible and hopefully have the parents working with that. And then lastly, the one that stood out is there was talk about the $1 law that if a school shuts down, the building could be sold for $1. They do feel like eventually that's going to go away. It's not going to go away during this session, but that is in the plan to hopefully it will go away fairly soon. So, and I'm sure Wade can give more details on anything else.
You got it covered pretty good. Good job. Good job. Joe?
How do I follow that? Well, I don't have too much to say. It's just really great to see, Project 27 up and started. Anxious for that to be all over with 2027 to where we can start using it. And another thing, you know, it always amazes me and it's such a blessing that we have so many people that want to sign up for volunteering to be coaches, assistant coaches. Got to commend them for that. I mean, really, they're really thinking about the students and I believe it. So that's about all I have.
Thank you, sir. Tom?
No, just, not a lot. On the same page as Gerald, great to see that project get started. Hopefully the amount of interruption that it has with day-to-day school activities isn't too much. But it's just nice to see all the work that we've been doing over, it's been a couple of years now, actually starting to come to fruition. All I got.
Susan?
I will not repeat everything by the time it gets to this end. I too am very thankful to see the project moving forward and, you know, seeing light at the end of the tunnel for this. And I'm thankful to all our staff for all their hard work.
Melissa?
Yeah, I would agree. It's good to see that project get started and also thank you, Lincoln Victor Price, for their donation to the high school. And I don't know, staff and kids hang in there, spring breakfast coming soon.
Mr. Beanie? Well, I want to thank Monica for her very detailed report from the State House today. It was an interesting day. Probably one of the less colorful events we've had at that day. This was the School Board Association's 8th, what they call the State House Day, where school board members and legislators eat lunch together and have an opportunity to discuss issues. And we listened to the panels of, it was funny, Representative Veining, Representative Delaney, Senator Rotz, and Senator Yoder on at one table, and all of them were civil. So, very fine day. Say that. So, with that, thanks everyone for being here tonight. Thanks to the Brian and Stephanie for keeping us vocal and moving forward. Mr. Bainey, thank you for your reports tonight. We are adjourned.